to switch to Forms Pro from Microsoft Forms, you would sign into Forms, then select your username in the top right-hand corner, and select Switch to Forms Pro. Let's jump into a demo of designing and sharing surveys. To get started with building a survey, we're going to click on New Pro Survey. We'll give our survey a name or title. And we can provide it a description. And now we can start adding questions to our survey. So we have different choice of different types of questions. It could be choice type question as an example, or we could add text type question where the answer would be text based. We also have the ability to add ratings question. So we can use star rating or different types of smiley faces, numbers. So we have a lot of functionality there. I can also request date from someone. And I have ranking type question, net promoter score. I can create sections with different questions in them, Likert as well. So this is question with different options and different statements. So I'm going to start creating my webinar questions. So the first question I want to have is a choice type question, and the question will be, was the content presented relevant to your organization? So I'm just pasting the question in here, and then give different options. So I want a yes, no, maybe. So I'm going to say add all, and it's added 3 different options for me. And I want this to be a required answer. So I'll do that. And I'll add my next question, which will be a choice question again. And once again, it's next question is going to be, how likely are you likely to start using Microsoft Forms Pro? So we'll add that in there. And once again, I just want yes, no, maybe. And I actually need to make a change. I actually added 1 in front of this, so I don't want that. So I'm just going to change that. It's very easy to work with this. So question 2 is a required answer once again, and it is visible, so I can hide and make these visible. Add a third question. Did you like the webinar? And it's going to be a rating type question, so paste that in. And I want to change the symbols to be smiley faces, so basically 5 different levels, highly dissatisfied to all the way to highly satisfied. And I'm going to add a 4th question in here, and this is going to be if the person responding to the survey is neutral or dissatisfied or very dissatisfied. I want to provide a follow-up question, and I'll show you that in a second how we can do branching. So I'm going to go to text-based question. And we're going to put in the question. And we've provided, and I'm going to make this non-visible, and we'll leave it as this. So now what will happen is the other thing I can do is I can preview my questions so far. So I could click preview here. I can see I have my 3 questions with the submit button. So this is what it's going to look like. I can also see it in mobile, very responsive design as you can see. So this is what it would look like in a mobile setting. And I'm just going to hit back out of here. I can also apply a theme to my survey. So I can do something like this or this. So as you can see, I can even create my own custom themes, just dark blue, green, whatever I really want. So we're just going to leave it as this for now. Now I'm going to show you branching. So I'm going to click on the three buttons here in the top right, and I have different options available to me. So one of them is branching rules that I discussed before. So we're going to click on that. I'm going to create a new rule. So I'm just going to give it a name, hit dislike, and I'm going to define the conditions. So my condition is going to be is if question, did you like the webinar, is less than a certain number or response. So if it's less than a 3, I basically want to prompt the user for that other question. So condition is going to be, oops, not condition. I need to add a true statement. So if true, I need to add an action. So my action is going to be if it's less than 3, I need to show a specific question. Please tell us what you did not like about the webinar. And if it's false, I just leave it unhidden and hit save at this point, or leave it hidden, I should say. So I've added my rule. Now we can go back to form and actually test this out. So if I hit preview, I'm going to get what it looks like. So just click through these. As you can see, if I click on happy face, nothing happens. If I click on dissatisfied, I see this question now appear on the form, and the person can tell us what they didn't like and hit submit. We'll hit back. So I also have the options of the settings. I can say who can fill out this form, only people in my organization, option for responses, I can shuffle the questions around, I can stop a survey after a certain date, and a few other options here as well. Some of the other options when working with surveys is the ability to share the survey with other coworkers within your organization who you may be collaborating on the survey or building the survey. So we can do that by clicking the share button and then click get link to a duplicate, provide a copy to this URL. We can also share to collaborate, same thing. So sorry, the first one was the template, and this is share to collaborate. So I can copy this, and then that would be shared out with a specific group of users. There's also something called survey variables, which I'll show you in a minute here. So let me go back to the form here for a second. So we have our form that we saved here. I'm just going to go into customer satisfaction survey, which is a sample survey. So this is a sample survey that was created with questions. How would you rate your experience? It's rating. Which features did you like? How likely are you likely to recommend the product? This is a scale question, and then text box, long answer type question here. I can also, one of the other features is when people fill out the survey, I will see responses indicated, and I'll go over that shortly here. So now that we've built our survey and we've tested it and made sure everything's okay, we're now ready to distribute the survey, and I'll walk you through that process now. So to send out our survey, go back into the survey and hit the send button. This will do is it'll show us all the different methods we have to send the survey. So we can email a survey, we can have Power Automate what's called a flow trigger a survey, or a base trigger. We can also embed the survey code, so we can get the code and then actually generate the code for that survey and then actually embed that in our website. Just provide a straight link to the website, to the survey itself. You can also do QR codes, so this could be a QR code somebody scans and then brings them to the survey to fill out. So let me just jump back to email here. So the way email works is we have a from address, and then we have our recipients. This can be imported list, or it could be, let's say, a group, email group, distribution group that we send this to. And then we have a subject, and then we also have templates. So I can have different templates here. So you'll see this template is, please click on the survey. This is the default one. We can also have, these are fully customizable. So this is one of the features of Microsoft Forms Pro, is that we can customize these and then we can actually insert variables. So instead of saying, as an example, event feedback, dear valued customer, we can actually insert, just like with a mail merge, you can actually insert variables in here. So first name, last name from the email recipient or addresses would get inserted in here. So I could do something like, instead of customer, get rid of that, and we can do first name, and then you could also insert the last name. So another thing you could do is, for example, if you're working with D365 for sale or service, and you had cases, I could insert a case number. So these are all different variables that I can set up and then insert into the email and actually personalize the email to the end user. Once I've created my email link and I'm ready and I've saved everything, then I'm basically at that point ready to send it out to that group. So if I had a group here, I hit the send button, it would actually send out that finished email out. Once again, Power Automate, embed QR codes. So that's the process of sending out the email with the embedded form to distribution list. So once people have responded to our survey that's been sent out, here's a survey that's been sent out with to a list of people, and here's the responses. So I can see I have 529 people I sent it to. I have 100 responses so far, and I can actually go into the invitations and actually see the status of each one of these, who was sent to, and I can actually see if somebody responded. So I could click on this one. I can actually export the list. I'm just going to go to responses and we can actually see the responses. So the response is tracked. I can click on this. It'll actually show me the specific user and what they actually filled out on the form and their responses, which is sort of nice. I can even export out all that information into Excel just by using this export button here. It also shows me the average completion time of the survey and some other information. The other thing that Microsoft Forms Pro provides is analysis of survey responses to make proper business decisions off of that information. So you'll see here that it's showing the latest insights. So it's showing that 55% of the respondents have expressed positive sentiment. Among the people who've answered, I can see some information there. So let me click on that. So also provides some Power BI graphs embedded. So if they answered question 1 overall, how would likely, if they answered that question high, then they're more likely to recommend our product, which makes sense. and actually scroll through the different questions and the different insights that are provided, which is question-wise analysis. I can actually see certain questions, certain responses, and graphs, Power BI reports related to that information. So sort of nice that I can see all that information outlined. So I can see a specific question, see how it was tracked, the response people gave, so I can flip through each one of these questions and see the response once again. So quick way to analyze that data. Webinar recap. We reviewed Microsoft Forms Pro, showed you how to design, share, and distribute a survey, and we also reviewed how to view responses to a survey.